Hey gang, so out here tonight working on the tailgate. I'm trying to make this thing work with the electronics for the 2024. I had to go out and buy this handle because I didn't have a tailgate. So I removed the stock, you know, handle that would be here. Open the hole up. This has a light here and a camera here, which for your backup camera up to the trailer hookup. So I had to make all this stuff work. I made a couple slots here and here so this thing snaps in place. Like that. Right here, the little has a button that released the tailgate on the stock 2024, and it would like power down. On this tailgate, we're not gonna do the power down deal. I'm gonna let me take this out here. I'm gonna put regular door with solenoids in here. The 60-pound pull to release the tailgate. So when I hit the button, the solenoids will release the tailgate, and the tailgate will drop. On the bed, I haven't shown you yet where we're putting all the stock lighting in the bed, like what you would do if you had the compartment lighting inside the bed. So all this stuff should kind of work together, hopefully. It's just not gonna have the power down feature, which I think is for, I don't know, pussies anyways. So we have that. So, and then I have this panel here, which is basically the stock trim panel that will go on the back of the tailgate, like this. Now, I guess they have the early and late versions of this, and this is I'm not sure which version. I know what your tailgate it is. It was the one I had laying around, so we're just using it. So I'm going to reshape this hole, this opening, and hopefully make it so that the light and the camera can miss this. So in doing that, I got to take the support brace off the back of it and then hammer form this down. And we'll see how that goes. So I got to make a couple bricks to go on that. I'm going to go in front and back, and then we hammer this down to match up to this. I got to cut it back a little bit. So anywho, I'm going to go get that done, and I'll be back to you in a little bit. Bye now. All right, I figured I'd catch you guys up on where we're at with the tailgate, power tailgate. So here's the solenoid kit I bought. And I welded the brackets in. I screwed them straight to sheet metal and to each other, so they have plenty of support. Normally I wouldn't want to do right to the sheet metal, but it's a truck, so it'll be fine. Anyway, so I got two of these. These are like $30 a piece on Amazon. A pair of them, they come in a kit. And so I'm gonna wire them in. This will be pulled for the passenger side, and the other one will be for the driver's side. So I got cable. Got the ends already done down there. Got to do the ends down here, and then test them and see how it goes. Bye now. All right, so we got the solenoids in place. Got the cables all done. They're in here. We got the rock and roll. Give it a test. Of course, this is only one. I got to wire them together. I got to put a solenoid on the solenoids, so it's got to draw too much power. So there you go. What else? So now I'm gonna make a plate to cover this up. I got to put the wiring in here for all these things. What else? And then finish doing the panel up on the other side. So onward and upward. Bye. All right. Well, I figured I probably should offer up the wiring in this thing to see how it's all going to work out. Come to find out, we have this module. I'm not sure what it plays into when it comes to the rest of the electronics in the tailgate. Also, in the dash, if you don't have all this stuff hooked up, sometimes you'll have error codes on the dash all the time, and I just don't want all that. So I'm going to leave the harness as stock as possible for the most part. I might have to throw some resistors in here to show that the tailgate's closed or open. Hopefully I don't have to do that. Anyway, the wiring for all the controls comes out in the right place. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I got to take this solenoid out and mount this box upside down inside here, and then start putting the rest of the wiring in it. And then the other problem is that under here is the bottom. This is the bottom down here, and that's really narrow here. So there's no room for the wires or the harness to go through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hole saw a hole through here and run some pipe through that. And then when I cover it, I'll cover all of it together so it's all consistent. But I don't see another way of doing it so that, I don't want to have to crimp wires and that kind of shit. So, and then they're taking things apart like the, where's it at? This end here. Taking that apart and getting it put back together and make sure it doesn't have problems is not really worth the hassle. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna put a thing through here, put the harness through it, and then weld it back up, and it'll be nice. I'll show you when it's done. I know. All right, I figured I'd show you where I'm at. It's my crackhead moment. So the problem is I can't get the harness from the top of the tailgate to the bottom of the tailgate. I don't want to run the wires out the sides, or just pop out the middle. So what I'm doing is I'm running some tubing through here. I'm gonna cut the slot out. I'm gonna cut the tubing, put the wires in the tubing, then weld the bracing back in again on the tailgate. So the wires are good. I'm gonna cut the tube off here and cut off here. But I wanted to be able to have something so the wire and harness can't get pinched or screwed up. Maybe this is overkill, I don't know, but I just hate having wires getting messed up. So here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out, and then I'll show you the next step. All right, so there's my little contraption. I cut this section out. Made this piece of pipe, galvanized. You gotta grind the ends off, otherwise it won't weld for shit. So anyway, put that in there. Now I'm gonna split it at the back side, pry it open, put the wiring harness in it, close it, shield the wiring harness, tack weld the back side of it, and then put it back in here, and then weld all those back up again so it looks like it's supposed to be like that. All right, bye now. All right, there's the tubing tube, or the wiring tube. So I got to do a little dressing down in the corners and grind everything back, but you can see what I was doing now. And then you can see on the inside I had to cut that in half, split it, open it up. The wires down here really aren't that big a deal. They're pretty small. But by the time you get up here, they're pretty fat. So I had to just put it over top of the smaller area and then thread it up. So, anywho, I'm going to grind it down and finish it off. And then I got to take and put that control module underneath here and put it back together again. Make a cover for all this, and we'll be done. Anyway, moving along. Bye now. We got this thing pretty well licked. So this stuff here plugs into here. Got a couple screws. I've made a little plate so this will attach on the inside also, so it'll be extra firm. It's all done. Got this all clamped down. Got a secondary clamp here. It'll bolt into when I bolt to there, or when I bolt the controls in. So then I made this doodad here. I'll cover that up, and I'll screw it all in, and that'll be accessible from the back and be completely serviceable. So I like doing things that are able to fix them if they go bad. So there's the bottom, comes out here. Of course, right here is the back sill for the tailgate. We'll go through that probably into the wiring harness. So, all right, all I gotta do is finish up that decorative panel there a little bit, and this thing's ready to paint. And move on to the next thing. The bed should be done this week, so I'll have pictures of that. Bye now. All right, there it is. Pretty much done. I got to do a little more shaping. I get this down to probably into here in this area. I think the camera will be interfered with if I don't come to at least about an inch lower. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to shape this down into here. And then I think it'll be good to go from there. So I got the panel on. I had to do a little work to make that fit. Still isn't perfect, but better than it was. Jug it up. And there's the inside with the panel on it. So clean, and the wiring come out the bottom. So tailgate's basically done, not including the the garnishment here I need to have a little more work done to. I need to do a little more work too. So anyway, that's where we're at. And moving on to the next thing. Bye now.